sustainable.
Simon Fell.
Thank you, Mr Deputy Speaker. I'm very surprised to be called so early in this debate. I'd like to congratulate the Honourable Member for Crawley for being selected in the ballot and for choosing such an important subject. By banning hunting trophies, we can send a very strong message to the rest of the world that the UK does not tolerate the killing of iconic species such as rhinos, lions and elephants by a very small minority for recreation alone. Like many of us in this place, I've been inundated with emails and letters from constituents who care very deeply about this issue. I thought I'd read a section of an email from Danielle from Barrow, which sums up what many people have been saying. All animals have unique personalities, but to hunters, they're merely target practice, things to kill, decapitate and display on a wall. Wild animals just want to be left in peace, but trophy hunters, lacking empathy, compassion and respect for these living, feeling beings, get a sick thrill out of taking their lives. They're willing to pay thousands of pounds to travel the world just to kill. Their victims are often trapped in a fenced compound or a private game reserve, or lured for bait with the safety of a national park into the awaiting shooter's path. Some who facilitate this blood sport track down animals for a fee. It isn't uncommon for them to encounter sleeping animals who may be shot at extremely close range. The UK could deter hunters from killing animals abroad by banning imports of hunting trophies, therefore preventing people from bringing their sick souvenirs home. Danielle's is just one of many voices who have reached out to me, and I'm sure people across this House, on this issue. People have already mentioned the polling on this issue. In March this year, polling showed overwhelming support for the policy of banning trophy hunting imports. I think it was around 86% of the public agreed that the UK government should bring a ban forward. Indeed, on Conservative leaning voters, that moved to 92%. I'm always wary about following polls. I think we should listen to the arguments on both sides and make our own minds up, but it is clear that the public is ahead of us on this one, and there is real merit to listening to their sensible and sage opinions on this. Between 2004 and 2014, British hunters brought 2,500 legal hunting trophies into the UK, including body parts from some of the most endangered species, such as elephants and rhinos. Despite wild lion populations being decimated to a mere 20,000 individuals, we've seen thousands of lions be targeted and killed since the death of Cecil, which I'm sure we all remember, in 2015. Similarly, what was a population of 20 million African elephants has been reduced to just 400,000, with only 50 big tusker elephants left on Earth at all. Trophy hunting directly contributes to the decline in threatened and endangered species populations, whilst failing to provide the conservation benefits that the trophy hunting industry claims. To attain the most impressive trophy, hunters typically target animals with the most accentuated traits. This has a disproportionate impact on the genetic and social integrity of their family group and wider populations. Contrary to the belief that funding from hunts directly supports conservation efforts of the target animal species, evidence from the US House Committee on Natural Resources found multiple examples of funds being diverted or completely dismissed from conservation purposes in Zimbabwe, Tanzania, South Africa and Namibia. South Africa holds 366 large-scale captive breeding facilities where big cats are being bred and exploited for commercial purposes. The investigative organisation Four Paws found that indigenous species like lions, cheetahs, leopards, in addition to non-native species like tigers and jaguars, are being kept in substandard conditions, used for touristic gain, through abusive experiences such as cub petting and canned hunting. Lions are the largest population of big cat species in this industry, with 3 times as many lions in captivity than there are wild in South Africa. Due to their tame nature, gained through hand-rearing and becoming habituated predators, the release of captive-bred lions into the wild is impossible. As they reach 2 years of age, many lions are used for canned hunting. They're released into a small fenced area only to be shot and killed for a trophy. The dead lions and their parts that aren't sold as trophies often enter the traditional medicine market across Asia, where the animals are more valuable dead than alive. By allowing the UK to import hunting trophies, we're indirectly supporting this heinous industry. It's been mentioned before, but I think every party in this place has a commitment to ban the import of hunting trophies. It was included in numerous Queen's speeches and in the 2021 DEFRA Action Plan for Animal Welfare. It is time to deliver on this commitment. It's my daughter's birthday today. Peg turned 7 years old. Thank you. I'm sure she appreciates all of your support. Fatherhood changes your view of the world, very much so. She is my first. And I'm sure we all recognise, those of us who have children, going through that stage where they hit about 3 years old and ask why about everything, relentlessly. Being my first child, whenever Peg asks why, I try to answer the question. And it makes you see the world differently, very differently indeed. I didn't really think much about hunting issues. I didn't think about fox hunting. I didn't think about wider animal welfare concerns that we're discussing today. But when you try and justify them to a 3-year-old and why the world operates that way, it makes you think again. And frankly, I can't justify this. I can't see why we are allowing these barbaric practices to continue and why we're allowing them to be imported into our country. Animals shouldn't be managed to be hunted, with the excuse of them continuing to exist as the argument. We should be sustaining habitats, enabling biodiversity, creating environments where they can thrive and aren't effectively wild anymore, and able to fend without humans, or in a waiting room for a hunter to bag an easy shot to go above the mantelpiece. This bill is the right and moral thing for us to do. I'm very glad to support my honourable friend from Crawley with this excellent bill. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Very much. Holly Murray-Croft.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And